What's something you thought was common knowledge but actually isn't? Gambling at a casino will most likely result in losing money. That there are no tigers in Africa. I was on safari in Tanzania and two others in the truck were discussing how excited they would be to see tigers. I told them there weren't any and they looked all disbelieving and crestfallen, like I was spoiling their fun. They had to check with the guide. That the vast majority of telecommunications traffic between countries is carried via undersea fiber optic cables. Just because eggs are sold in the dairy section doesn't make them a dairy product. I've heard people say they don't eat eggs because they don't eat dairy. That antibiotics kill bacteria, but won't do anything against viruses. Everyone has the idea that if you get a cold, you see your doctor and get antibiotics. Take some acetaminophen/paracetamol and ibuprofen, and stay away from other humans for a while. Taxes. I opened a new facility and hired a couple hundred people here recently. The number of people approaching me about their paycheck being incorrect due to taxes is astounding. That narwhals exist/are real. People have thought that I was trolling them by talking about a mythical unicorn whale. That other planets are visible from Earth. And the sun is also a star. The on-ramp is for accelerating to highway speeds before you reach the highway. Alcohol has calories. I had to be the one to tell my friend when she was in her mid-20s that the vodka she loved has calories. She was so shocked and said, "What?" I thought since it was clear like water it didn't have any calories. Basic geography. Not being able to point out Turkmenistan on a map is one thing. Not being able to point out the Pacific Ocean on a map is another. A.D, as in like 2019 AD, means Anno Domini. Not after death. Tax brackets. You won't end up paying more in taxes than the extra income if you go up a bracket. Only the income above the cutoff is taxed at the higher rate, not your total income. I had to explain this to a guy in his 60s, literal years away from retirement. I work in IT and I'm constantly helping people who don't know what the Windows key is. Don't know Internet Explorer/Chrome/Firefox are web browsers. Don't know that making your password your name is a really poor choice. How to stay in one's own lane when turning from one street to another. Everyone seems to get close to wild animals for pictures and think it's okay. We are not all one with nature and animals like their space and don't trust you. Africa is not a country. It's a continent. Control-C plus Control-V. And Control-Z. The amount of people that go to the top left for the undo button. That you shouldn't be rude to customer service or the cashier for reasons not in their control. It's not their fault that the item is expensive. I've seen some Jimmy Kimmel skits where people are asked where certain well-known places in the world are, like where is Australia? Where is Africa? And they literally can't point to them on a map, or they think Africa is a country. I just don't understand how people don't know this stuff. How to use a dim roundabout, apparently. You are meant to do the tutorial in games. The flu is not just another cold, and you can't use the words interchangeably. Many people have never had the flu, or felt that unwell. The flu will knock you on your ass. Basic principles of finance. Like budgeting, interest, debt, saving, etc. I think this should be a mandatory curriculum in high school. It blows my mind to look back and think about the amount of studying I did on topics I'll literally never encounter again, but basic financial literacy is ignored entirely. Don't pet service dogs. I used to think everyone knew this, until I got one. Don't pet them, talk to them, make kissy noises, bark at them. Grown-ass adults barking at service dogs is shockingly common. Whistle, clap, none of that shit. Do not do anything to deliberately draw the dog's attention. If they are distracted, the handler could get hurt or even die. Not exaggerating. If a medical alert dog misses an impending medical emergency, the person doesn't have time to get into a safe position or take rescue medications. If they have a seizure or slip into a diabetic coma or something because you distracted their service dog, it is your fault. That you can wash blood with saliva. A surprising number of people don't realize you should not flush hygienic products down the toilet. If it doesn't eventually back up your own pipes, it will create massive blockages in the public sewer. I had to explain this to a friend in her mid-20s. I was like, why do you think there's little trash cans on the wall of every women's stall? That the IRS will never request payment via iTunes gift cards. It's unbelievable how often people fall for this. I work in customer service at Walmart and we have to deny this kind of scam at least once a week. Should have / would have / could have equals the contractions should have / would have / could have. It's not should have / would have / could have. Those word combos make no grammatical sense. If you're entering a venue that requires a ticket to be scanned for entry, someone without a scanner can't let you enter. The difference between there, and there. They're so simple. People who don't know the difference are really doing a disservice to their writing skills. I mean, they're just so stupid. The yield sign on highways are there so you look before you just keep going, possibly hitting someone. Happened to a friend's mom. You have to look at the toilet paper after wiping to determine how much POO is left on your butt. You also have to touch your butthole with the paper. No, it is not gay to clean yourself. Hey mom, who was the first man on the moon? Tom Hanks. How to use your debit/credit card at a checkout. A screensaver is the animation that pops up on your computer when you don't use it for a while, to save your screen from getting burned in. The background picture that wallpapers your desktop is the wallpaper. If your wipers are on, your headlights should be on. Money disappears when you spend it. It's not magic. Vaccines are safe and effective. Don't piss on a jellyfish sting. Not everyone's disability is visible. Just because someone parks in a handicap spot then gets out and walks in without you being able to tell why they're handicapped doesn't mean they don't deserve that placard. That margarine isn't butter. It hurts my soul when people refer to margarine as butter. That whales are mammals that used to be on land but evolved to swim instead. I had an art teacher that just didn't believe me when I told her that they're not fish. That all cows are female. Male animals don't have milk-producing udders, Sean. The male version of a cow is called a bull. Incidentally, I recently learned there's no common genderless word for a member of that species. There's cattle for a group of them, but nothing for an individual. The passing lane is for passing, not for your leisurely drive under the speed limit. The Electoral College. 2000 and 2016 showed that most voters did not understand how the Electoral College worked. If a guide dog without a handler comes up to you, follow it. Service/guide dogs are trained to seek help if their handler is unconscious or hurt somewhere. Vitamin C is not the same as calcium and vice versa. Two very different things, but sometimes people think it's the same thing. There does not exist a language called Indian. There are 22 official languages in India and there are 1600 plus local dialects all around the country. None of them are called Indian. That you twist a new stick of deodorant to get the plastic guard off easily.